It's done typically of all college presidents and chancellors. It's an opportunity for them to talk about their colleges and universities and to celebrate, I think, the history of the college as well as the future of the college. It's a fun thing.
You've been through this a couple of times.
I have not.
Oh, you have not?
This is my first. I come from states, even though I've been a president before, that did not do inaugurations for community college presidents. So this is my very first. It's like being married the first time. I don't know what to expect.
I see. I was going to ask you. That throws half my questions are gone now, because I thought you've been through this before, and so this really is an exciting time.
It is for me. I've attended others before, but I've not been the subject of one. So it's going to be very interesting for me. And the way I'm looking at it is, it's a celebration of Germanna, the celebration of the communities we serve, our students, our faculty and staff, and I just happen to be able to do the talking. So it's really a thrill for me to be able to represent all those folks. Really want to talk about the difference that community colleges and all higher education makes in people's lives, It's an interesting thing what we're able to see. I'll give you just one small example. I received this last week from one of our English professors, an essay that a student wrote about her life, and she was a former heroin addict, she was abused as a child, she was homeless, she had a variety of awful things happen to her, and finally she's on the road, and she'll probably end up graduating from university, if not graduate school, and that's what we do. And so it's exciting to be involved in this transformational, changing life that we're in.
Yeah, well, and I was just going to say to you that, especially in this day when student debt is such a big thing, when kids get out of college now, some of them are they're tied up in what they can really do because they have so much debt to pay, and you help that.
Yes, our tuition is about a third of what university tuition is. It could be even half, depending upon whether someone goes to a very low-cost institution. But I think what's important for people to understand is that it only costs about $5,000 to go full-time to Germanna for a year. And so you could get your entire first 2 years of higher education done for $10,000. That's an enormous savings to families. Those credits are viewed the same generally across the country as if you started at university. We're seeing more and more people coming for that reason. You go to community college for 2 years, we'll save the money, and then we'll continue on for the next 2 years at university. In fact, I've had CPAs tell me that's what they advise all their clients who are doing college financing plans, is to go to community college for the first 2 years. The other option that we have for students is dual enrollment, which allows even a further reduced tuition costs for families. Students take classes in high school, and that allows them to accumulate credits quite rapidly with actually a very discounted rate.
No, dual enrollment, my family thanks Germanna for that. Now, with so many fields now, even you don't need a 4-year education, or like you said in Germanna's case, go get your associate's degree. Maybe in certain fields you can get to work and go back later and get that 4-year degree.
Ted, you raise a good point, because I think often in our society we look at education, higher education, as being a terminal experience. In other words, I just have to do this one time and then I'm set for life in my career. The reality is that most of us go to school continuously throughout our lives. We take professional development, we go get continuing education credits, we take education all our lives. And so what I like to tell parents and students is, look at your community college experience as just part of that journey. Now, we've had PhDs in our classes who are coming back, people with doctorate degrees coming back and getting that degree you just talked about, which allows them to go out and get a skill and get a job. So we're kind of just part of the mix of skilled education and training, discounted as it is.
Well, the one thing that I notice about Germanna, as opposed to, and I've had some experience around a few community colleges, people really like Germanna.
You know, that's a very interesting observation, because when I came, I thought, oh, this can't be real. This can't be real. It can't be. They can't be this nice here and this
Yeah.
passionate about the mission and this concerned about the communities we serve. But they are. The people at Germanna are driven by student success. They're driven by serving communities and the workforce. It really is wonderful for me to have that experience this late in my career. And when there's disagreement at Germanna, and there is at any healthy institution, there is and there should be, it's often about what is best for students. And that's not a bad conversation to have. It's a very special place.
I notice it just with the people from Germanna that come in on this show, without exception. The people that come in here, they're different just as far as their commitment to the school and the students.
Let me give you an example. We just hired a new vice president who's young in her profession but old in her wisdom, and she said when she came, Dr. Tiffany Ray, she couldn't believe how many people just said, "How you doing? Do you know where you're going? Can I help you get there? Do you have any questions?" And that's the culture of Germanna, and my job is not to mess with it.
When did you know you wanted to be a community college president, or when did that idea come into your mind?
Well, the idea of being a college president came very early in my career when I was invited to a conference about women's leaders in higher education, women leaders in higher education, and I was just in graduate school, and I was astonished to learn that there were women leaders in higher ed. And one of the presidents there, the president of my own university, a male, came to me and he said, "Have you ever thought about being a college president?" And I was blown away. Of course I hadn't thought about it. And the reality turned out that I became a president several times. And it was really a lot through luck, and a lot through a network of people, men and women, who helped me and mentored me and suggested changes for me, because I'm far from perfect, Ted. I know that's a shock, but I'm not perfect at all. And all the mentorship that I've received has really helped me develop those skills. So I didn't know about community colleges. We were all university graduates in my family. My mother graduated from college. My grandmother graduated from college. But one time, I moved to a very small town that only had what was then called a technical college. Mm-hmm. And I had worked in higher ed in other university settings, and so I contacted the college and asked if I could work. And they gave me a little project to work on, which involved getting women into careers that they don't normally go into. For example, welding or carpentry or machining, electrician. And that was my first entree into community colleges, and I fell in love. Community colleges are very mission-driven. As we discussed before the break, we care about students more than anything else. We believe in the capacity of all people to transform through education. And so every day we get up, whether it's a good day or a bad day, and work for that transformation. And that kind of spirit and calling is really unusual sometimes in work. And so I never wanted to leave community colleges, and I found my dream job. In fact, this last week somebody said, "What would you really like to do? If you could do anything, what would you really like to do?" And I said, "What I'm doing right now."